Good morning, YouTube. It is 12:12 a.m. on Wednesday. Um, I'm posting this video because I want to discuss an article that I read in the Village Voice newspaper, which is an alternative New York City newspaper. It's one of the papers I love to read. It's something that's very different, and it was discussing about that the United States Supreme Court refused to hear an appeal from Develop Don't Destroy, which is a Brooklyn organization. It consists of tenants that are trying to block Bruce Ratner. He's a developer for Forest City, from building a Nets arena and some housing, which is what I've read, what I've researched. It's some kind of condos he's trying to build in that area with the Nets arena, and the Supreme Court refused to hear that appeal, which I'm not shocked, I'm not surprised at all, especially when the courts throughout this country are very corporation friendly, developer friendly, and it's very sad to hear this outcome. When I personally believe that Bruce Ratner could do this in any other part of Brooklyn or any other part of New York City, where we don't have to use the state's eminent domain power. And mind you, the government is doing this because they feel that this project that Bruce Ratner is doing is going to be a very positive thing for the city of New York, and particularly for the borough of Brooklyn. Everybody supports it. Mayor Bloomberg supports it. Marty Markowitz, which is the Brooklyn borough president, he supports this project. But I feel, and I'm very disappointed with this decision from the Supreme Court. I feel that Bruce Ratner, he could have done this in any part of New York City, like I said earlier, and without, destroying people's homes, destroying people's property, just to make the way for this project. And I was talking to some co-workers and talking to some other people about this, and they disagree with this project also. This project will cause a lot of congestion, will cause a lot of overcrowding in that neighborhood and everything. And funny thing is that Mayor Bloomberg and the people under him, and the Brooklyn borough president Marty Markowitz and other people believe that this is going to be very beneficial. That's going to create a lot of jobs, which in my opinion is full of crap, because then we have to question. And I always say that question, and I said that in my previous videos, because in life we need to question things. We cannot just go what people say or what people promise. We have to question, how is this going to be beneficial to the city of New York, and to the borough of Brooklyn, and to the community where that's going to be done. I mean, what kind of jobs are these going to create? How are these jobs? How they're going to pay? How are the pay of these jobs are going to keep up with the rising inflation? These things need to be questioned, and I think that the people who live in this community have a right to question this, and they have a right to question about this project and how is it going to benefit us. And I give them, that organization, a lot of credit. A lot of people, they mock them, they criticize them, which everyone has a right to criticize, everyone has a right to mock, but they're fighting for a cause. They're fighting for something that they believe in, and I agree with them, because I feel that a lot of these things need to be questioned. These projects needs to be questioned, just because Mayor Bloomberg and his comrades, just because they say this is going to be beneficial, and because a few people here, a few people there, and then they show a poll here and a chart here. Well, this is going to be beneficial for the borough of Brooklyn and for the city of New York. Well, people just have to buy into that. people have a right to research. People have a right to question these type of things. I mean, we have a right to do that. And I disagree with Bloomberg is saying and these other people are saying about this project, that it's supposed to be all beneficial, that it's supposed to be helping the people of New York, you know. I mean, New York City is revitalizing. The revitalization of New York City really is not really helping the working poor, the working class people. It's really benefiting the people who are in that who are up there. I like to say, isn't that um, you know, yeah. I mean, the crime has gone down. I mean, that's very beneficial and things like that. But New York City has become a very expensive city to live in. Poor people are being pushed out. Working people are being pushed out. The middle class people are being pushed out. It's becoming too expensive. And we need to question, is this next arena going to raise the property value, around that area? There's been a lot of debate about the housing Bruce Ratner is building. How many units are going to be affordable versus how many units are going to be market priced. I mean, these are things that have to be questioned. These are if Bruce Ratner is promising all these things, we need to make sure that he's keeping up with those promises. The city of New York, the state of New York, needs to make sure these promises are going to be carried. And that's what I think this organization, Develop Don't Destroy, is trying to find out. They're trying to, they're questioning a lot of these things. These are people's homes. These are people's private homes, and people have a right to protect that. Just because a few politicians and a few other people say, well, this is going to be beneficial for the city of New York, for Brooklyn, or we're going to create more jobs, then we have to bow down to them and just believe all this hype, and these things need to be questioned. And I'm very disappointed with the United States Supreme Court not even giving a chance to hear this appeal, hear what these people have to say. The courts throughout this country have become so business friendly, so corporation friendly, that they don't give a rat's about the citizens of this nation. The homeowners, the private homeowners. So, and it's a big debate. Some people have their own opinions. Some people have their own views of how New York City should revitalize, how Brooklyn should revitalize. But overall, the revitalization of New York City hasn't benefited the working poor or the working class people. It's only benefited the people who are in that upper level, upper class. So, if anything, we need to build more affordable housing, and I just hope that Bruce Ratner keeps his promise about this affordable housing, because it seems to me with the Supreme Court decision, I don't believe Develop Don't Destroy is really going to win anything now. So we need to cross our fingers and make sure, use our energy to make sure that Bruce Ratner keeps his promise that a certain percentage of these units are going to be affordable. Even more, we should fight for more units to be affordable. We need affordable housing in New York City. So, if anything, I'm very disappointed, like I said, with the decision of the United States Supreme Court. Very, very disappointed. And I felt that they should have heard that case and see what, from that case, to see, what decision they would have come up with.